Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today we will be talking about the WWE releases that have happened in the last week, and just basically just talking about their run in the company and just what's next for them. So let's just get into it. I'm going to talk about the first three main ones. Of course, at the end of the day, people are losing their jobs here. I don't really want to say these are more important than the other, but in terms of how they've been portrayed on TV, the three big ones were Mustafa Ali, Dolph Ziggler, and Matt Riddle. So if I go through them one by one, you have Ali, who he wanted to actually, if you remember, he wanted to get out last year. I think it was around January 2022 time, and they basically didn't give him his release, so they kept him around. And apparently he had some heated words with Vince McMahon as well. And then but in recent times he went back to NXT, and apparently there were reports coming out he was actually very upbeat and stuff. So he was doing really well, and just in the last, he was having great matches in NXT, and he basically got his new gimmick, which was something he pitched ages ago as well, and it was like a political type gimmick. Considering where he's from, his background, it's basically that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to have a political type gimmick and stuff, just to show everyone, people like the same color skin as him, they can also achieve something. That's basically his intentions, and so he did that gimmick in NXT, in the political gimmick, like basically like a political candidate, presidential type. And apparently there were reports that Fox weren't really happy with that when they saw him, and apparently he was going to be either on Raw or SmackDown, and the executives of that TV show weren't happy. So they were a bit hesitant on, depending on, it's a bit of a shaky character, the political gimmick. It's a bit controversial in this day and age, so they didn't really want that on their TV. So I think that could be the reason why he got released as well. But I think his contract was expiring next year as well, so it's a shame, because he was very creative, and just again, he was an awesome wrestler, but also he had a great mind as well, in terms of how he wanted his character to go. So I wish him all the best, because to be honest, he can go anywhere, whether it's AEW, anywhere, Impact, New Japan. I'm sure he'll succeed. So I wish him all the best there. The next one is Matt Riddle, who was released, I think, a few days later. These releases happened last Thursday, and at the time of recording, I'm recording on Tuesday, 26th September. So, and I'll post this on 28th September. I think this will be coming out, but so at the time of recording, last Thursday, these releases happened, and Matt Riddle, I think, happened last Saturday, if either Saturday or Sunday, so a few days later. So yeah, with him, I've put that he pretty much was a PR nightmare in a way, because every time he basically was getting himself into trouble, this and that, controversies a little bit surrounding him, and some the wrestling journalists reached out to someone in WWE, and a source from WWE said that he burned through many chances. So that's just, he was also one, named in the speaking out movement in 2020. So there was some controversy surrounding him, and just in terms of him as just a wrestler, he's very talented. But some of his on-screen character, some people might not like, because it was too comedic and it was too bit of a jokey character. So, but in the ring he was very good. So because he's a former UFC fighter, so I think he's gonna get. I think he had an offer. He had an offer from I think MMA company as well. So he can go anywhere, AEW, because he's somewhere. He's someone that people will definitely want to have in their company. So I can see him doing great things as well. And the big one was that got released was Dolph Ziggler. He's been with the company since 2004. Really signed a developmental deal. I think it was OVW, and he basically was a caddy for Chavo Guerrero, who was Kerwin White at the time. And then from there, he basically, after that gimmick basically didn't really go anywhere, he came back as a part of a Spirit Squad. I remember when I was a kid watching the Spirit Squad, and just to see that years later that would become Dolph Ziggler, so that was cool. And apparently there were reports saying Vince was not really high on him that much, and possibly after 2013, I think when he received, I think he got a concussion in one of the matches. He dropped the world title, and then it was just his career was never the same. And he had a great run though in 2013 when I think he was number one in the Royal Rumble. Chris Jericho was number two, but he had a great run in that Royal Rumble. That amazing cash in, people might forget. They really shouldn't. He cashed in on Alberto Del Rio to win the World Heavyweight Championship, one of the best cash ins, I would say. So that was really good. And yeah, so the double turn when he became a face, ADR Del Rio became a heel at Payback 2013. That was a very good match as well. One of the most underrated matches. If people go back and watch, that was actually a really good match. So, but yeah, I think he basically received a concussion somewhere around that time, and then Vince just gave up on him, which I think is really unfair on him, because they could have just kept going with him because he was just really good. But yeah, so that was it, and he could just have a bit of a career resurgence now if he so chooses, like Matt Cardona, his friend, did. So he could be going around the indies. He doesn't have to be in AEW. He could go around the indies doing his own thing, so that should be really interesting to see. He has his own stand-up comedy show as well that he's doing. So again, he has everything basically to look forward to. So yeah, I don't really doubt his abilities, and I think he will succeed anywhere he goes. So I wish him all the best as well. And in terms of the rest, basically, the most of these releases were people that weren't really doing anything. If I'm gonna go, I have the list in front of me. Them either hardly were doing anything. Shelton Benjamin, Elias. You have Emma, Riddick Moss, Aaliyah. You have Rick Boogs, who actually went on social media and he said there's a bit of a political power play against him. Maybe he said so. That rubbed people possibly the wrong way in WWE. So I guess we'll see what happens with that in terms of what Rick Boogs reveals to us. You have Mace Mansoor, Dabba Kato, Shanky, and then some of them, well, most of them now are from NXT, and those weren't also people weren't doing as much. Ikemen Jiro, Quincy Elliott, Ulysses Leon, and then the rest were, I think, recent recruits like Bryson Montana, Alexis Gray, all of these, and a few more were just WWE. When they did a tryout, that's what they got, these rookies in a way, and then basically they were released. Maybe, I don't know, they didn't see any progress in them, I'm not sure, but basically that's what happened right now. And one person I missed on purpose because I want to talk about him was Top Dollar, because only he was released. The other B-Fab and Ashante the Adonis, who were part of Hit Row, they're not released. They're still there. So yeah, that's it. So Top Dollar was released, and and that was really interesting because I thought all Hit Row were released. I think when the releases came out, it said Hit Row on one of them on Twitter. Maybe that was just someone maybe accidentally put Hit Row. But yeah, so yeah, all of these people, Dana Brooke as well, actually one of them, she's been there for a while now as well. So all of these people were released last week, and which came off at the back of many releases in the main office staff releases also happened. That was because of the merger and stuff. So it's really, I guess in big corporations like this, it's just a part of life. We might not like it, but that's just how it goes, I guess. So I wish all these people all the best. I'm sure they'll do great, because at the end of the day, you can really just, now they can be free to do whatever they want in life. So and I think many people have done that before too. As I mentioned, Matt Cardona and many people who've gotten released have just carved their own path. So I'm sure all of these people, because they're so talented, all of these people I'm sure will do just fine. So yeah, I think that's it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Just talking about all the releases and what I think is next for them. Yeah, so I really do think that all of them will succeed, so if they really choose to do it, whether it's wrestling or whether it's just anywhere else, whether it's acting or wherever they want to go, I'm sure they'll do just fine. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for this video. Thank you for watching.